Alright, so it's another day. I'm about to actually drop the motor in. So I actually took the liberty of going ahead and just putting on the headers, the starter, and the motor mounts. After I cleaned them up a little bit, I still got to remove the rear transmission cross member. But overall, I think the motor's actually ready to go in. So I'm going to go ahead, put some fresh spark plugs in, because later swapping them out is actually kind of a pain in the ass. So I want to do this first now that I actually have full access and get everything properly gapped. So for now, I'm actually going to be running just regular stock Motorcraft plugs. I don't really see a reason to step up or step down until we actually go through the dyno. So for the motor to be dyno ready, this is one of those things you want to check off the list. Always go ahead and just get fresh plugs. Might even pick up some extra ones just so I can have a spare set on hand for when I'm on the dyno. But yeah, so that's gonna be checked off the list. I'm gonna go ahead, plug those in, and start cleaning up anything that's in the way so I can actually wheel this into the engine bay and get her in. So, alright, see you then. So one thing you probably saw me doing is actually putting a little bit of connector grease on the spark plug. So this is just dielectric grease. It just helps prevent a little bit of corrosion on the end of the boot and make sure you're doing some good contact. Also, these plugs were pre-gapped. I was only using this as kind of verifying that they were all kind of pre-gapped to the correct spec. Even though this isn't as accurate as a feeler gauge, it at least showed me that all the spark plugs were consistent, which that's what I want in this motor, is 100% consistency. I think the more consistent each spark plug is to the next and each port is to the next, I think that's how we're going to get a nice smooth power band. One thing I did not use, and yes, these are aluminum heads with steel threads on the spark plugs. One thing you don't want to do is put anti-seize or any kind of thread sealant on your spark plugs, mainly because I've learned, kind of just like following Alejandro Flores and Lund Racing and all that, they don't use any thread sealant or anti-seize. Why? Because it can actually affect the heat range on your spark plug. So it actually affects how the spark plug transfers heat into the cylinder head and probably from the combustion chamber. Probably, that's the most I understand of it, so I'm gonna follow what the pros do and not put any on there. So that is the professional suggestion, so I'm gonna follow it. Alright, so now the engine's actually ready to be dropped in. All I gotta do is just clean up a little bit, probably move the K member. I'm probably gonna have to move it somewhere, and just move the cardboard and anything that might get stuck underneath the wheels. But engine's ready to go in, so I'm gonna go ahead, knock that out, and hopefully it's not too much of a pain in the ass by myself. So we'll see. in after that fucking fiasco.
Yeah. Fuck them motor mounts.
Yeah, so we're having a little bit of issues with the motor mounts, but it seems like we got everything in now, and
She's fucking in.
that actually fits properly in there. So, but the motor's in finally. So it won't be long before hopefully it's running, because now all we gotta do is just put the accessories back on it, which isn't that much work, right? Maybe touch up a couple little scratches, and then toss the intake manifold in the wiring harness.
That ain't shit.
No, it's so drive shaft, the cross-membered bolts for the transmission mount, so it's just 2 bolts.
Yep.
Then harness, intake manifold, and fix the fuel lines. I feel like that's probably work for another day.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Not too bad, honestly, for us two.
No.
Last time it was me, you, and Joe, and we did my car. And
Yeah, when we did your gold car, the
The
SN95, yeah.
yeah, I felt like that one was a bit of a harder experience because I didn't think we jacked the car all the way down, did we, when we did my car?
We were going like up and down with it, which was weird. I think.
Yeah, this came in smooth.
Yeah,
we
was.
didn't do some dumb shit like forget to put the fucking
AGR tube.
or the fucking oil dipstick.
No. Mine's it actually goes in through the valve cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least it's in now, and hopefully we didn't damage anything. And you want to know like the thing I was realizing as we were putting it in, it was already too late.
What?
I forgot to tie the valve cover bolts.
I told you too. Did you forget anything? You're like, nah. Nah.
Like nah. I mean,
It's not too bad though.
It's not too bad. It'll be a little bit of pain on those two, but the rest of them they're actually easily
Hey,
accessible
we
with a
got
1/4" ratchet.
Plenty of swivels.
Plenty of swivels.
Should be all right.
We did your starter. We did a starter in a stock 2000 GT. So anybody who knows that third bolt.
What third bolt? I don't know what you're talking about. It's only 2 bolts.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Awesome, bro. Great fucking work.
We did the third bolt delete kit on yours. But yeah, so steering is in. I just gotta hook up the steering shaft and hook up the coilovers, and that's a roller again. With an engine this time.
Yeah. With a Coyote.
So that's fucking sick. So I'm super stoked right now. That's a bug right there that I just stepped on. But I'm super stoked. I think we'll call that a night. So I'll catch y'all next time.
Deuces. Guys, hear me out.
Okay. Can't just end the video with the engine in there and not have, the piece de la resistance. Not at least mocked up, it's not installed. But it's in there. And again, here, let me try and get this light a little better angle. As soon as the let's go. Pick it up.
Doesn't want to party.
Alright, never mind. We're just gonna leave it there. But there you go. See, the new cold air intake actually fits a lot better than the old one. The old one I would always be running into issues with it wanting to fit here. But there we go. So there's a good shot of it. So we're gonna go ahead, bolt it down, but now I'll catch y'all later.